This is part number 8 of a video series, Microsoft Access tutorial, and in this part we're going to talk about the next piece of Microsoft Access, which is SQL, Structured Query Language. So reminder, what we've done so far in the previous 7 parts is we discussed how in Microsoft Access you design the storage or create tables and link them together with each other. Then in videos 4 through 7 we discussed how data is actually entered into the Microsoft Access tables, and that is done through the use of forms that limit the way how users interact with database, with tables themselves. So in this part we're going to look at the processing. Processing in databases, Microsoft Access being one of them, is done through the use of SQL, or Structured Query Language. So in this video we're going to start looking at the SQL. SQL is not a programming language per se in the traditional computer science sense of the word. SQL is rather a set of relatively simple statements which look a lot like English, plain English language. SQL can do 4 things with the data stored inside the database. Create a new record, update existing record, delete existing record, and the most powerful feature of SQL is reading records from multiple tables of the database. So we're going to start with create a new record with these 3 actually: create, update, and delete. So let's go back to our Microsoft Access file, client billing database. Let's create our first query. So I'm going to close the forms that we have created so far, and I'm going to close all the tables. If you remember, all the objects that we can create in Access, we can do so by going onto the tab Create. So far we used this group of buttons, create tables, and this group of buttons, create, this group of buttons, create forms, right? So for the writing of the SQL, we're going to do that manually. We will use the part that says queries. So let's click on the query design button. Now, query design button by default puts you into the visual environment, which looks a lot like Wizard. So you can design queries in Microsoft Access by just pointing and clicking, by selecting the tables that you want to query and selecting the fields from these tables. Well, we're going to not do that. We will actually write queries manually. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window that says Show Tables. And on the Design tab on the left side, you can see the button that says SQL. So right now we're in the SQL Design view. We're going to switch to the SQL view. SQL view, so to speak. So go ahead and switch to the SQL view, and by default the SQL view gives you the empty query with only one command, which is started with the keyword select. Well, we're not quite there yet, so go ahead and erase the word select. So what I'm going to do is start from first type of queries, create a new record. So the new records, if we want to use SQL, are created using the keyword or command insert. So go ahead and type insert. Now I'm using uppercase letters. That's not a requirement because the SQL is not case sensitive, so it can be lowercase letters. I'm just used to typing the keywords that SQL recognizes in the uppercase. So insert, and I'm going to identify where exactly I want my record to be created. So I'm saying into, and then after that I have to type table name. So everything that SQL does happens inside tables, obviously. So every time when we insert a record, the record goes into a certain table. So therefore SQL knows that we're going to be working with table, and we don't have to type the keyword table actually ever in SQL. So I'm going to insert a record into table, for example, clients. And after that, I have to provide SQL with the list of columns that I want to insert new values into. So, for example, let me actually look it up. Clients have following fields: client name and client street, city, state, zip, and phone. For example, I'm going to insert a new client record, and I will provide client name and also client state and phone. Let's do that. State and phone. So I'm going to leave out city, state, and zip. So I'm going to provide now a list of the fields that I will insert into the new record. So that should be done by typing parentheses. So inside parentheses, I have to type the list of fields. Now this is just a custom that I have. Every time when I open parentheses, I close them immediately. I do so that I don't forget to close them later. So here inside the parentheses, I'm going to type the list, comma separated list of fields that I want values for. So I'm going to insert client underscore name. And also we decided to insert state. So notice that I put a comma and I put state, and then comma, I want to put a phone number. All right, and that's it. So outside parentheses, I'm going to put one space, and now I have to provide specific values for this field. So therefore, I have to type the keyword values and put a space. And again, I'm going to open and close the parentheses. And inside parentheses, I'm going to provide these three fields that I have mentioned already: client name, state, and phone. Now, all of these are strings of characters. So therefore, I have to enclose each string inside the quotation marks. So I'm going to, by the same argument, open and close quotations so that I don't forget to do that. And between quotation marks, I'm going to put the client name. Now, what clients do I have right now? I have ABC and XYZ. So let's say my new client name is Qwerty, Qwerty, comma, limited liability company. Then after this string, I have to put comma, so that corresponds to the client name, and I have to insert the state. State is also a string of characters, so I have to open, close the quotation marks, and I'm going to put, for example, Maryland MD, okay, and after that, comma, the last column that I want to provide the value for is phone number, and that's also a string. So quote unquote, and inside quotations, honestly, I don't know any any phone area codes in the Maryland, so just going to improvise. 234, and then space 334-5566. So all this is the phone number. You can see that it's a string. It uses numbers, spaces, dashes, and also parentheses, and everything is included inside the quotation marks because that is one string that I want to record in the column phone. Okay, so we're pretty much done. So this is our first query. It's a command that tells the Microsoft Access to insert a record into the table clients with the values for the field client name, state, and phone, and these are specific values. How do we run this query or execute? We go to the Design tab, and there is a button with an exclamation point that says Run. When I click it, it says you are about to append one row. Append is just another word to say add or insert, right? So when I say yes, nothing happens really, okay? But nothing is supposed to happen because this is a command to insert another line into the table clients. So if I open up table clients, there it is. Here's my new line, and it says Qwerty LLC for the client name. It says State Maryland for the state, and the phone 234. Well, what I have typed. So this is pretty much the way how new records are inserted into the into any table. So we specifically inserted that in table clients. Well, let's go ahead and save that query. So I'm going to click on the Save button. Immediately, Microsoft Access tells me, well, how you want to call this query. So I'm going to give it a long and descriptive name. For example, insert underscore new underscore record underscore query. And when I click OK, you can see that in the navigational pane on the left, Microsoft Access created a new group. So far we had tables and forms, so there is a new group. I can collapse or expand it. And there is only one entry there. That's the record, that's the query that I just created. You can see that there is an icon that visually identifies the type of the query. There is a plus sign, green plus, and an exclamation point. Plus means addition, right? So this is a insert query. Okay, so I'm going to close this query because I'm pretty much done with it. And that is how Microsoft Access handles, or at least SQL handles, creation of a new record inside the database. So now let's go ahead and update the existing record. So the reason why I did not exactly insert street, city, and zip is because I wanted to use this example of incomplete record, which I can update later on and insert the missing fields, or maybe modify existing fields that I already inserted. So let's go ahead and actually I'm going to leave it open so that I can show you what happens if I leave the table open and run the query against that. So I want to create a new record which is update existing. I want to create a new query which is update existing record. So I go to the tab create, and again I do the same stuff. Query design, and it invites me to start using the visual editor. Well, I'm going to close that, and I will switch to the SQL view. And again, it says query 1. It's an empty query with one keyword, select. I'm going to erase select. So we're going to update our query, our record, I'm sorry. And you can see that actually it's a record number 4. That's going to be important. So how do I update existing record? I want to update record number 4. Very easy. The keyword for the command is update. After that, I have to specify which table I want to update. And again, because all SQL does is it works with tables, I don't have to use the keyword table. So I just type update clients, and it's understood explicitly that I'm updating table clients. Now after that I say set, and let me start a new line. So Microsoft Access SQL doesn't really care about extra spaces or extra new lines. It will still interpret that as one continuous query. So I can actually make it more pretty by breaking my query into multiple lines. That way it's more readable if somebody wants to take a look at the query. So update table clients set, and now I'm going to provide specific values for the field that I'm missing. I'm going to set street, city, and zip. Okay. So street set, I'm going to say street, that's the column name, equals to, and again this is a string, so therefore I have to open and close quotation marks. Street, so far we have one main street, 2 side streets, so I'm going to call it 3 second street. Second street. Okay, and the list goes on, so I have to put comma. And again, because I can break it between multiple lines, I'm going to hit the enter button. So next line. So street is going to be 3 second street. The next one is city. Now for the city, let me do something unusual. I'm going to put city for Norfolk. Okay, Norfolk. Now note that I already have Norfolk, which is Virginia. Now this one is in Maryland, and the city is also Norfolk. Actually, there is no Norfolk in Maryland, as far as I know, but let's imagine that there is a city of Norfolk, so the city is called exactly the same, but it's in a different state. So Norfolk, and last thing that I want to set is the zip code, so therefore I put comma, letting SQL know that the list goes on, enter the new line. I'm going to type zip. Zip is also a string. It's a numerical string, but it's still a string. I don't know any zip codes, quite honestly, in Maryland, so 43215, something like that. Okay, so technically I can run the query as is right now, but I didn't specify which exactly records I want to update, correct? I told SQL that I want to update table clients. Table clients right now has 3 records. So without any specifics, what this query, if I run it, what it will do is it will set every record. I have 3 of them right now. In every record, it will set street equal to 3rd 2nd Street, city Norfolk, and zip 43215. So therefore, I have to provide a specific address inside the table, which record I want to update. So therefore, I have to expand my query somewhat. How do I do that? I just type the keyword where, and my record number is 4. Client ID equals 4. So that's precisely what I'm going to specify here. I'm going to say client ID equals 4. So now I know that I'm updating table clients and the record number 4 with the primary key equal to 4 in this table. And these are the specific fields that I'm updating inside this record. Okay, so I'm ready to run this query. So let me switch to the Design tab. There is a button Run. If I click on the button Run, it says you are about to update one row. I click Yes, and again nothing happens because it's just a work inside the table. So if I go to the table client, you can see that my values that I just specified, 3 2nd Street, Norfolk, and the zip code, they are inserted and they are updated, right? And the update concerns only record with the client ID equals to 4. So this is how Microsoft Access handles updating existing records. Pretty simple. So after that, I'm going to click Save. All right, and again, I'm going to give my query pretty sophisticated or long name. Update underscore existing underscore record underscore query. And when I hit OK, you can see that I have a new entry in my navigational pane under the queries, but this time visual icon is different, right? It has, I don't know what it looks like, magical Harry Potter wand. Okay, so that basically visually is supposed to tell me that this is an update query. And I'm going to close this query. And the last query type that I want to show in this video is deleting existing records. That is actually pretty simple. It's probably simpler than what we've done so far. I just entered client number 4, QWERTY LLC, and I have no related work completed for this client. So this record, I can probably erase this record without sacrificing or influencing anything else inside my database. So let's do exactly that. We just inserted record number 4, QWERTY LLC, and then we updated this record. Now let's delete it. So I go to the tab Create, and again I go to the Query Design, Cancel, out of Visual Editor, and switch to the SQL view. So new query, blank. Let's delete the keyword select, and deleting of an existing record is very simple. You just have to use the keyword delete. Now I have to specify where the delete happens. So therefore I'm going to say keyword from the table, but we don't mention table. It's kind of assumed. From table clients. Now if I run this query as it is right now, SQL will attempt to erase all records from the table clients. I have 3 of them. I don't want that, right? I want to, just like in the previous case when I updated record number 4, I want to erase record number 4. So I'm going to do that in the same exact way how it was done in the update query. I have to say which record to delete, and that is done by using the keyword where. So where client ID equals 4. Okay, so now I'm telling SQL, go into the table clients, find the record number 4, client ID equals 4, and erase this record. And let's try doing that. So this is pretty much how it's done. As you can see, it's simpler than anything else we've done so far. Go to the tab Design, click the Run button, and it says you're about to delete one record. Are you sure? Yes. So I say yes. And note that when I go back to the table clients, where record number 4 was, I have weird things going on. I have a bunch of entries that say pound sign deleted. So that means that Microsoft Access is trying to read the record that was there, but I just erased that. So it's just Microsoft Access way to let me know that this record doesn't exist anymore. So I have to update the view. So how it's done? If I hit F5 button, then I update the view, so the view is refreshed, and now there is no more record. So there was a record number 4, there is no record number 4 anymore. Well, let's save this query. I'm going to save it and call it delete underscore existing underscore record underscore query. And when I hit OK, note that a new entry is added to the navigational pane, and again, to visually identify that this is a delete query record, there is a red cross. Okay, so we're pretty much done with these 3 types of queries: create records, update records, and delete records. So in the next video, we're going to start this set of records. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here.